I used to believe that strength was quiet, not peaceful quiet, but swallowed quiet, the kind where your jaw tightens and you say nothing, the kind where you nod, even when something inside you bends the wrong way. For a long time, I thought that was what a man was supposed to do. I did not learn that from books. I learned it from watching other men who never explained their pain. They carried it the way you carry heavy bags from the market, without complaint, without pause. And I admired that, so when something hurt me, I folded it inward. When I felt misunderstood, I told myself it didn't matter. When I needed comfort, I convinced myself I didn't. Silence felt disciplined. Silence felt mature. Silence felt strong. What I did not notice was how heavy it was becoming. There is a kind of quiet that protects dignity, and there is a kind that slowly erases you. At the time, I could not tell the difference. Years passed the way they always do, quietly, and I kept practicing the wrong version of strength, thinking I was becoming solid, but something inside me was thinning. It took me a long time to understand that staying silent is not always strength. Sometimes it is fear wearing a respectable coat. It did not happen all at once. There was no single moment where I decided to become silent. It was a pattern, built in small choices. Someone spoke over me. I let it pass. Someone misunderstood me. I let it pass. Something hurt me. I let it pass. Each time I told myself I was being patient. Patience is a beautiful thing, but I began to use it as a hiding place. I started measuring my strength by how much I could absorb without reacting. If I stayed calm, I felt superior to the noise. If I stayed quiet, I believed I was above conflict, but silence, when repeated often enough, becomes a habit, and habits harden. I noticed I was explaining myself less, sharing less, even laughing less, not because I had nothing to say, but because I had trained myself not to need to say it. People began to assume I was fine. They saw steadiness. They did not see suppression, and I helped them believe that version of me. The strange thing about patterns is this. You don't feel them forming. You only notice them when they've already shaped you. By then, silence was no longer a choice. It was my identity. The cost did not arrive loudly. There was no collapse, no dramatic ending, just a slow thinning of connection. I remember sitting at a table with people I loved and feeling strangely absent. I was there, but not present. When you keep your feelings inside for too long, they stop knocking. They sit quietly in the corner, and eventually even you forget what they were trying to say. I thought I was protecting others from my heaviness. I thought I was making life easier by not adding to it. But what I was really doing was removing myself. There is a loneliness that comes from being alone, and there is a deeper loneliness that comes from being unseen. I felt the second one. People cannot respond to what you never reveal. They cannot hold what you never place in their hands. I told myself I did not need to be understood, but the truth is, everyone does. Strength that refuses to be vulnerable begins to isolate. Not because others walk away, but because you slowly step back first. The cost was subtle, but it was steady. And time, as it always does, collected the interest.